Alright, so Mr. Negative is immune to Nullify, Stagger, and Fate Seal. But what makes him a bit more unique to other champs who have the same immunities is that he can remove all the buffs on him simply by dashing back, and this does not trigger Mystic Dispersion. So Mr. Negative is all about energy management. You get your light energy, which you build by parrying or removing buffs. So you get 2 light for every parry and 1 light for each buff that gets removed when you dash back, and this includes dexterity. And then you get your dark energy, which comes from converting your light energy. And you do this by either evading, simply by holding the heavy attack long enough for the opponent to attempt to hit you, or by getting knocked down. You convert all your lights into dark. And whenever you convert, you'll place a Delirious debuff on the opponent, which just lowers their defensive combat power rate by 60% and inverts their controls. And this lasts for 0.8 seconds for each light energy converted. Now, the important thing to keep in mind is that there is a limit to how much energy you can have, and once you cross a certain amount, they will start to expire. So once you have 10 light energy, that's when they start to expire. They go from being indefinite to lasting only 6 seconds, and that's why you want to ideally convert when you have a maximum of 9. And it works the same for the dark energy. As long as you have less than 10, they'll be indefinite, but once you have at least 10, they'll expire in 16 seconds. So you do have a bit more time there to hold the dark energy. So once you've converted your first set of light energy into dark, you basically just want to repeat this process. And for both light and dark energy, the maximum amount you can have is 20. So if you already converted 9 light into dark, then you only need to convert 11 more to be able to apply the maximum amount of degens with your special 2. Now you can drop that lovely special 2, and each hit actually does something. So the first hit applies a Petrify with 80% potency, and if you had at least 10 dark energy, the second hit will apply another Petrify, so now you have 160% potency, so you're reversing stuff. The third hit places 1 degen debuff for 10 seconds, and the final hit consumes all the dark energy you had to place more degens for each dark energy consumed. So as a rank 4 6-star, each degen does 4,850.55 damage. Multiply that by 21 and you get a little over 101,000 damage just from the degens alone. And of course this number would be much higher with Suicide Masteries. But yeah, that is pretty much the basic rotation of Mr. Negative. I could go a bit more into depth into getting more damage by using the heavy attack, which gives you a Fury buff, which is also another way to gain buffs to convert into light energy. Or the other special attacks, because they are a lot more rarely used, especially the special 1 unless you're doing true strike type of fights. And the special 3 is quite useful against debuff immune matchups, although the damage is not quite as good as the special 2 in general. And then there's the Sig ability, which is not needed for him to be a great champ, although it does give some nice little bonuses like a bit more damage here and there, and that regen when you degen is also quite nice, and it's still quite good even at low Sig. But I would need more time to go over more rotations or how to use them more efficiently in more specific scenarios. But I thought this might just be a good little introduction to get the gist of the character. So I would first just work on getting good at this basic rotation. You know, getting your 20 dark before your special 2 in a fairly efficient manner, because you will be baiting and dexing special attacks while you add it. Unless you prefer to only drop combos while the opponent is delirious, then there's less baiting involved.